My girlfriend disappeared, but she keeps posting stories. My girlfriend Ava went missing 3 weeks ago. We'd been dating for just over a year, living together for 5 months. She was the kind of person who could charm her way out of a parking ticket and cry over documentaries about sea turtles. We were solid. Happy. The night before she vanished, we were watching The Invitation on Netflix. She made popcorn and added that weird lime seasoning she loved. I remember because halfway through the movie, she paused it and looked over at me, serious all of a sudden. Do you think people can just disappear? Like choose to? I thought it was a reference to the movie, so I shrugged. Maybe. But most people get caught eventually. She didn't say anything. Just unpaused the movie. The next morning, she was gone. Her phone was on the kitchen counter, plugged in like always. Her keys, purse, even her shoes, all still by the door. The bed was made, which she never did. It was like she evaporated. I reported her missing. Filed everything. Cops came by, asked questions, took a few pictures. No signs of forced entry, no known mental health issues, no enemies. Just gone. But here's where it gets really weird. A week after she vanished, a story popped up on her Medium account. Title: The Room with No Corners. It was short, surreal, almost dreamlike. A girl wakes up in a blank white room where she can't see the ceiling or the floor. No corners. No doors. She tries to scream, but her voice doesn't work. The story ends with, "It's not a prison if you don't know who you are." I stared at the screen for an hour. The account was active. Posted just 2 hours ago. I called her family. They didn't know anything about it. I called the cops, they said the account might have been hacked. But it didn't feel like a hack. It felt like her. She always wrote weird little stories. Flash fiction, creepy, poetic. But she hadn't posted in months until now. Then another post came 3 days later. Then another. Each one stranger than the last. And each one, almost like a message. 3 days after Ava's first post, another story appeared on her Medium. It was called "The Man Who Forgot His Name But Remembered the Sound of Screaming." It was longer than the first. The kind of story she would read out loud to me on rainy nights, curled up with tea in her oversized hoodie. But this one didn't feel cozy. It was about a man who wakes up in an apartment he doesn't recognize. He tries to leave, but every door opens into the same hallway. He starts to forget things, his address, his job, even his own name. The only thing he remembers is a woman's voice screaming his name in the dark. He never finds the source of the scream, but the story ends with him sitting on the floor, whispering to the ceiling, "I'll remember you, even if you forget me." I read it 3 times. The writing style, it was undeniably Ava's. Same pacing. Same voice. Same weird obsession with liminal spaces. I messaged her Medium account. "Is this you? Are you okay? Please say something. I miss you." No reply. I didn't sleep that night. Instead, I combed through every post she'd ever made. There were 36 total, most of them old. But I found something I hadn't noticed before. She used to tag her stories with keywords. Her old ones had tags like surrealism, dreams, fiction. The new ones? Trapped. Awake. Listening. Not fiction. That last one made my blood run cold. The cops still had no leads. Her phone hadn't been used. Credit cards untouched. No CCTV footage of her anywhere after the day she disappeared. But her stories kept coming. A new post appeared 5 days later. It was titled, "The Girl in the Walls." And I swear to God, it was about our apartment. I nearly dropped my phone when I saw the title. The Girl in the Walls. Ava used to joke our apartment was thin-walled, you could hear everything. Our upstairs neighbor sneezed like a dying goose, and Ava used to mimic it to make me laugh. But this story wasn't funny. It opened with a girl hiding in the walls of an apartment, watching a man live his life. She couldn't remember how she got there, but she could see everything. She wrote, "He doesn't know I'm here. He moves through the rooms like I used to. Same toothbrush. Same coffee mug with the chip. But the bed feels colder than I remember. He forgets to take his vitamins." I had forgotten. I stared at the bottle on the counter. Still sealed. Sometimes, I try to knock. Just once. Just to see if he notices. But I don't think he can hear me anymore. That line made my skin crawl. I walked the apartment slowly, eyes on the vents, the walls, the crawlspace behind the laundry unit. I even knocked. Nothing. The ending of the story hit like a punch. He looked in the mirror this morning and said my name. I wanted to answer. But all I could do was watch from behind the drywall and pretend I was still real. I stood in front of the mirror for an hour after that. Every time I said her name, I listened. Really listened. Nothing. I screenshotted the story and emailed the detective assigned to her case. He didn't reply. I called 3 times the next day and finally got through. Told him the latest post mentioned things only someone in my apartment would know. He brushed it off. "You said she's a writer, right? Maybe she wrote it before she disappeared. Maybe it's scheduled content." I told him Ava never scheduled posts. Then came the 4th story. And this time, it had a name in it. My name. The 4th story was titled, "He Keeps Leaving the Light On." At first, it sounded innocuous. But the opening paragraph mentioned something that stopped me cold. He leaves the hallway light on now. He used to turn it off before bed. I think it makes him feel like I'm still coming back. That's true. I'd been doing that every night since she vanished. It was a small, stupid hope that if Ava came home in the dark, she wouldn't trip. I never told anyone that. The story continued, but now that he had a name. My name. Not a character with my name. Not a coincidental match. She even used my nickname. The one only she ever called me. Mikey doesn't talk to the plants anymore. He forgot I used to sing to the snake plant in the kitchen. He watered it yesterday and whispered, "I'm sorry." I think he thought I couldn't hear him. I dropped my phone. No one could have known that. I hadn't told anyone I'd spoken to the plant. I hadn't even realized I did until I read that line. This wasn't a scheduled post. This wasn't fiction. I checked the post's metadata. It had been uploaded 27 minutes ago. I was home the entire time. No knock, no sign of forced entry. Just a new story. Just her, slipping into my life like fog. That night, I unplugged the router. I powered down my laptop and phone, locked the door, bolted the windows, even duct taped the vents like a lunatic. But at 3:17 a.m., I woke up to a faint tap-tap. Then silence. The next morning, I checked her Medium again. Against all logic. Against every part of me that screamed don't. A new post was up. No title this time. Just a date. Tomorrow's date. It was there waiting for me when I woke up. No title. Just the date, March 31st, tomorrow, when it was posted. But it wasn't tomorrow anymore. I clicked on it with shaky fingers. My heart was already in my throat. It started with this line. Today, he'll find the key in the envelope. I blinked. What envelope? I kept reading. It will be wedged under the doormat, just barely poking out. He won't remember putting it there. That's okay. I didn't remember writing these stories either. Not at first. I ran to the front door. I don't know what possessed me, panic, dread, hope, all tangled, but I yanked the door open and lifted the mat. There it was. A plain white envelope. No name, no address. Just a small brass key inside. And a note in Ava's handwriting. You left it behind. My hands were trembling. The story continued. The key doesn't fit anything in the apartment. That's not what it's for. It's for the place he forgot. The one in the woods. The one we said we'd never go back to. I had to sit down. When Ava and I first started dating, we took a weekend trip to her uncle's old cabin in the woods. Upstate. Completely off-grid, no signal. She said it felt like a time capsule. I said it felt like the intro to a horror movie. We were only there one night. She woke me up around 2 a.m., shaking, saying she heard something outside. Something that wasn't walking right. I brushed it off, raccoons or deer or something. But she couldn't sleep. And in the morning, she asked if we could go. She never talked about it again. The cabin. She was talking about the cabin. The story ended like this. If he wants to find me, he'll go. But he has to go alone. He has to remember. He has to listen. I read that last line about 20 times. Then I packed a bag. Because no matter how much it scared me, I wasn't going to let her be alone in whatever this was. The cabin was exactly how we left it. Dust on the windows. Leaves blown against the front door. Same rusted wind chimes that never made a sound. I hadn't been back since that weird, cut-short weekend almost a year ago. I parked just off the dirt path and walked the last stretch. The brass key from the envelope fit the door perfectly. Inside, it was quiet. Too quiet. Like the air hadn't moved in months. I expected old furniture, a moldy blanket, maybe a dead mouse. Instead? Clean floors. A kettle on the stove. One mug on the counter. Her mug. The one with the chip on the side she always sipped around. I whispered, "Ava?" Nothing. Then I heard it, a soft hum. Low. Familiar. It was coming from the basement. Ava hated that basement. Wouldn't even let me go near it when we were here last. Said it felt wrong. I should have left. I know that now. But I opened the door. The stairs creaked all the way down. It was cold. Damp. But the hum got louder. And when I turned the corner, I saw something I'll never unsee. A small desk. A chair. A laptop, her laptop open and glowing. No power cord. No signal. And on the screen. Medium. A new draft. Still unsaved. Title, He Finally Came. I sat down. My heart was hammering. The page blinked. Then typed, by itself. I knew you'd come. I'm sorry I left. I didn't mean to. It pulled me. I whispered, "Ava, where are you?" A pause. Still here. But not like before. The cursor blinked again. There's one more story. You have to write it. So I can finish. I didn't understand. Finish what? I reached for the keyboard. Before I could touch it, I heard footsteps behind me. Just one step. Then silence. I turned around. No one. But on the wall, scratched into the wood, were 6 words. Write it so I can leave. The screen blinked again. A new prompt. Tell them what happened to me. So that's what I'm doing. I still don't know where she is. Or what pulled her in. But the Medium account hasn't updated since that day. The last thing it shows?